Hi, my name is Olajide Olagunju, and I'm the author of the book, How to Resolve a Conflict. That is the book right in front of you. And then the book is a guide to the lectures that you have come to attend today. And it's how to resolve a conflict lecture series. And this is lecture 20. And once again, welcome. And I hope we can learn from each other today. Please post your comments as we go along or at the end of the lecture. For the book, you can get it at your convenience on Amazon. If you have a Kindle, it's free. You can read it free on Amazon, on Kindle. Otherwise, you could get it for a token, a soft copy, a hard copy. They're all three versions are available on Amazon. Once again, welcome, and let's start. We are in paragraph 5, and we're looking at the mediation process. We've looked at the pre-mediation proceedings. We've looked at types of mediation, and now today we want to talk about the mediation process. The mediation process. So let's read from the book. The mediation should begin with the mediator creating an appropriate an appropriate atmosphere. He or she may achieve this by commending the parties. So the parties are before you, they are with you now. You could begin by commending them for their conciliatory approach, their amicable approach to their conflict. 2, reminding them that the purpose of the meeting is to look at the problem in dispute and understand how the other party sees the problem. Then you could also remind them that the ultimate goal is to regard the problem as a challenge and to regard each party regarding the other party as joint problem solver. So the parties are there as joint problem solvers, assuring them of confidentiality, inviting them to be open with him at private sessions with individual parties, and assuring them that the private session will be confidential. And finally, reminding them that anyone participating at the mediation who is dissatisfied with the progress being made is at liberty to leave the meeting. So that's the mediator, as it were, softening the ground, welcome the parties, making them feel comfortable at home, and preparing their mind for this process they have come to. Especially when they probably have not used it before. The emphasis on the fact that we are here not as the problems or as the problem, we are here as the joint problem solvers. So nobody is being condemned, nobody is being judged. You are not the problem. But between us, we have a problem. We have a challenge we have to deal with. But we're not going to deal with it as if we are guilty. We're going to deal with it as if we are joint, emphasis on joint problem solvers. So that's what the mediator does, and if you take these 5 steps to introduce the process to the parties, then I think you started well. Now let's go back to the book. After the above introductions, after the above introduction by the mediator, the mediation moves on to the next stage, the opening statement of the parties. Now, what happened here? Each party's statement should cover, one, the history of the relationship between the parties, two, how problem arose, three, the feelings of each party, four, the reason for feeling this way or the way they feel, each party feels, five, the result each party desires. Some people may say, well, suppose they are corporations. Well, they have feelings too, because corporations are made up of human beings. And as I said in an earlier lecture in this series, whenever there's a conflict, it's almost likely that the people will be frustrated, anger, feeling of being hard done by, stabbing or stabbing by. So feelings evolve. And you can't pretend that because these people are looking so formal and proper, both have not met in their mouths to think they don't have feelings. They have feelings, just that they're not showing it. So you have to be sensitive to their feelings. You have to encourage them to express the way they feel. I've explained why. You don't take out the feelings, it's a nuisance, it creates a nuisance problem for you. When you think you've gone very fast, I've seen in one or two mediations or by some colleagues before, boomerangs. People now, will you, bad mediator, expecting they should be thinking of signing an agreement and they blow up in your face while you ignore their feelings? It's very dangerous. That shows they are doing bad mediation. The emphasis, I'm back at the book. The emphasis at this stage is on feelings and not demands. Feelings of the parties are not demands. The mediator should ensure that that parties express as much of their feelings as they can or want. He must ensure that the mediator must ensure that she asks them or he asks for their permission to take notes. Don't just assume. Tell them, I'm going to be taking notes. The notes are useful for you. Even if you have a fantastic memory, it's better to take notes. There's important points to note them. Let them know you're taking notes. Mediator must listen attentively to the parties. Mediator must ensure that parties understand each other. It's very, very critical. We come back to some of these things when we are in the last chapter, when we are running up on the process, chapter 10. Ensure as a mediator, mutual respect between the parties. Again, very, very critical. We all want to be respected. And the mediator is not the one to push disrespect or to fail to be courteous to all the parties, and of course expect the parties to be courteous to him or her. So the mediator must also allow for personal idiosyncrasies, like different personalities. We come from different backgrounds, so take it easy with them, accommodate them. Finally, the mediator must relay the points made. Very critical. Very critical. One of the last things we would learn in chapter, I think 6 and 10, is what I just mentioned, relaying the points made. That's a way to relay the points made. You're not repeating what the parties say. You are presenting it or representing it in a way a good mediator does. We'll learn that. We'll learn it as we go along. Now, back to the book. The advantage of helping parties to fully express their feelings is to create the feeling of being heard out, and understood, so that they let out all the steam, the anger, the frustration, and all other emotions bottled up as a result of being hard done by. This is necessary for the next stage of the mediation, because without force, expressing exactly how you feel it might be. And in fact, I am positive that it will be difficult to have the clarity of mind to think out options for settlement. What does that mean? You cannot settle in anger. You can't reach agreement in anger. I would like us to stop here for today and then continue tomorrow in the lecture, in lecture 21. Once again, thank you for joining me. I hope you've learned one or two things here. When looking at the procedural move of the mediator, there's still lots for us to learn because it's not just to run through the process, you know. There must be something happening as you are going on. People must be making paradigm shifts, especially from hostility to amicableness, if I can use that word, and so we need to understand what are the things that make this happen. And as we go along, we'll be able to learn them. Thank you very much, and I'll see you tomorrow.